I think the most immediate way to track successes actually works for both, and that is transition. Where do the students transition to in either? So in a cluster vessel, you want to see them transition, if it's not a complete program unto itself that then results in a job certificate, then there's going to have to be a pathway, and that transition into a career technical area class is one of the significant ways to track it. There are some cluster vessel classes that would prepare individuals for lower level jobs that don't necessarily require a job certificate, that don't require a state certification. For example, personal caregiver is one of those. And in that situation, many students go on to employment. And so not only transitioning to the nurse assistant training class for the vessel for personal care assistants, but also tracking the transition into employment is a great way to see how successful the program is being. So in the situation with the iBest for nurse assistant training, then tracking the transition over to specifically City College or to another institution, Grossmont Health career occupations, to see if they've gone on into nurse assistant or nursing training, LVN program or RN program, is a significant way, as well as tracking employment. And it's always a challenge to track students, and we're branching out and using different means to do that. Facebook and social media is one of those ways that we are trying to remain in contact with our students. If your goal is to track success, and I encourage everyone to think about and document success, particularly in this time of tight budgets, and also in this time when going for outside external funding, you always need to have evidence of why your model is worth funding. One of the critical pieces in being able to track success is to identify before you start the program, what does success look like? How will I know when this program is successful? You really have to put your heads together, look at it from multiple perspectives, from the administrative perspective, meaning take into consideration the big picture and what the strategic priorities are and the mission of the institution. Work with the instructional staff to determine from a grading or from a testing perspective what is success. From the student perspective, what is it how will they know if it meets their goals? So really looking at it from multiple perspectives and selecting that criteria, and then looking for ways to track it, to measure it, that's critical in determining program success. I think very often we forget how important it is. You know, it's always important to have the end in sight when you design something. And, you know, we all know that, but I think we're always in a rush to get something off the ground that we forget to make time for those important pre-steps, pre-planning steps, and then to monitor it throughout.